I still have joy. 1, 2, 3. Oh, he slayed me. Yeah, but I trust him. I trust him. Don't talk about and misunderstood. Yes, I've been lied on, but still, we've been made. Endure for a night, but I'm glad.
Hey, Instagram and YouTube, we wait for Facebook to load up.
After all, everybody say, oh. The world didn't live it. Yes, sir. The world can't take it away. Say, hey. Have your hands up. Here we go. After all that I've been through.
Hey. Good morning, Facebook. Y'all finally decided to come on. Woo! We over here having a whole church party. Good morning, good morning. Hey, Instagram. Woo, hey, YouTube. Good morning, good morning. My name is Micheline. I'm your host. Hey. Sometimes you're trying to get your joy. You just got to turn something on and just get hyped, get amped. Woo. Okay, Ty Tribbett. Good Lord, have mercy. Good gracious, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, get the right music on. You shake all that off. All of it off, all of it off, all of it off. Woo. ooh, 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 ooh. Let me get my breath. Boy, I feel like I'm in church. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm your host, Misha Lee, for your Morning Mojo. Thank you so much for joining me, and I appreciate you coming. Sometimes, guys, listen, before I go live, I got to have a whole session with myself, me, the Lord, the situations I deal with on a regular basis. Sometimes I have to kind of get it in. And I do apologize that sometimes Facebook take a little bit. You know what I've been noticing though? I've been noticing that you guys are actually on Facebook sometimes, but I can't sit on my end. So I'm learning to go on one of my other devices to look see if I'm on there. Because guess what? There'll be a whole bunch of stuff going on the back side of this thing. So good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Misha Lee, and it is time for your morning mojo. Get up, get it together. Whatever you went through yesterday was yesterday, and whatever you're going through from last week was last week. But today is a whole nother day. Today is an entirely different day, and this is the opportunity for you to make some different choices and to do a few things different. Good morning, good morning. How you doing? Guys, I am on a whole nother level. It's about to be springtime. It's about to get, now North Carolina, they said it's going to snow today. But you know what? That snow can come if it wants to, because I'm still going to have my joy. And some of you are walking around here and somebody has snatched your joy. And I come in this morning to ask you one thing. Who stole your joy and who gave him permission to snatch it away from you? Who stole your joy? Who is the person? Who is the thief that came into your life, that came into your situation, that came into in your space and snatched and stole your joy? Let me tell you something. I don't believe, and I want, hey, how you doing over there on Instagram? 100%. I don't believe that nobody, I mean, absolutely nobody. I don't believe anybody comes into this life or comes into any situation intentional. I think a lot of times things happen to us. It happens to people that we love. It happens around us. It's a lot of things that just happen and it affects us emotionally. And most of the time, we're not prepared for it. We don't even expect it. It hit us completely out the blue. I'm talking about being blindsided. Being blindsided, like you walking down the street and just out the blue, somebody swing over and hit you in your face and you didn't even see it coming. But I'm going to tell you something. The more that you keep living and the older you get, you realize one thing. You better always be ready for the unexpected. You better always be ready for that thing that you don't think can happen. Lord knows you want to trust people. You want to be comfortable in the presence of people that you know, and you love to get comfortable whatever situation you're in. But you always have to have an arsenal of praise. You got to always have an arsenal of joy. See, I don't know what anybody else do in any other situation, but I'm going to tell you something that helped me snatch my joy back immediately. Get the right song on. Start praising God for the things that I do still have. Start praising God for the opportunities that I still have. And God, listen, I'm so out of what I really wanted to share with you. But it's the truth. Sometimes you're not going to be able to cheer yourself up. Because it's a lot of things that happen to us in life that we just do not understand. It's a lot of hope and things that we want in life that if they don't come the way we think they should come, we get very disappointed. And disappointment will steal your joy. Number one, the first thing that will steal your joy is disappointment. I'm going to tell you, I asked you who stole your joy. I'm going to tell you, most of the time, it ain't even a person. It's situations and it's how you feel. It's things that you go in and things that you deal with on a daily basis. And if you on here and can agree with me, say, yes, Misha, that's true. And share this post with somebody because somebody's watching your page on a regular basis to see what they can see. Get them something to look at and get them something positive that'll help them understand that they need to be looking for their way to get out of this situation. But let me tell you something. At the end of the day, if you get disappointed about something, disappointment will steal your joy. Disappointment will, let me tell you something. When you lose something that you want, or when an opportunity passes you over that you think was for you, we're going to talk about that too. But it's easy to get your joy stepped on and poured out and just not feel that thing no more. I'm going to tell you something else that'll steal your joy, and it will steal it from you. Is somebody being misunderstood. Being misunderstood will steal your joy. When you are trying to be understood by your parents, when you're trying to be understood by your partner, when you're trying to be understood at your job, when you just want people at the church to understand, when you want somebody in your group or your team, when you want people to really understand what it is that you're trying to be about, what you're trying to push, when you're trying to get people on your side to understand what it is that you got going on, that being misunderstood, I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of things in life that I don't like. But being misunderstood probably is one of the my pet peeves. I hate being misunderstood because being misunderstood means that what I was trying to share with you, you didn't get. The point that I was trying to make with you, you got something else. And so in your eyes, or in my eyes, you got a lie and not the truth that I was trying to tell you. So being misunderstood will cause you to be disappointed, and it would actually take your joy away because you'll get frustrated. You'll get tired of trying. You'll be like, you know what? It don't even matter because no matter what I do, you're going to pigeonhole me into this. No matter what I say, you're going to say, this is what it is I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to get you to see my point of view. Communication is a very powerful tool. And I encourage each and every one of you to take a communications class, talk to somebody about being able to communicate more effectively, because if you don't understand how to communicate, let me tell you something that I learned when I took communication. It is a responsibility of the sender, the person that's transferring the message, to make sure that the people that are listening understand. That's super frustrating. If I'm trying to speak to you in English as plain as I know how, and I'm using the simplest words that I possibly can find in a dictionary. I've gone to my thesaurus and I've gone to my Webster's and I've gone to my gateway, and I have laid out the pathway for your mind to understand. I personally told my teacher, I said, well, I don't feel like it that somebody else's mind is messed up and they can't understand what I'm saying. That frustrates me. That frustrates me to the highest level of frustrativity. Seriously. But guess what? It's still my responsibility to make sure people understand what I'm saying. And so sometimes it ciphers and it ciphers and it ciphers that whole source of your joy. When in all reality, the only thing that you have to do is take a little bit more time and step back and say, you know what, Misha, hold on. Maybe you need to say it a different way. Because oftentimes, just to stay on this just a little bit, sometimes us being misunderstood is we want people to think the way we think. And guess what, guys? As beautiful as your mind is, and as amazing as your thought process is, everybody don't understand your thought process, period, point blank. That's why psychiatrists and psychologists are making so much money with people laying on their couches, because they're teaching people how to understand that other people think differently. And so if you feel like you're being misunderstood at this point, a way to get your joy back, a way for you to snatch your joy back, is to look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I'm not wrong, but maybe the way that I've been trying to say this to them is not the right way. Let me ask them, how can I help you understand me? Sometimes it's just that simple. Ask people, how can I help you understand me? Because I think, and listen, I'm going to tell you something that people love too. And this is a great tip. Write this down, put it in your book, record it, whatever you're doing. People love when you take responsibility for whatever the issue is. Even if it's not you, and even if you clearly see that they do need to do something, sometimes you need to take responsibility for that, and don't put no, well, but if you, just say, you know what? I didn't say that the way that I needed to say it. That was my fault. I was wrong for that. I'm still trying to learn how to communicate the right way. And sometimes I say things that I shouldn't say because I just don't know no other way to say it. So I ask you to forgive me. So will you please help me? Help me to know how to say the things that I'm trying to say to you, because I want to make sure you understand me. That will, when I tell you, that will disarm somebody so quick. And the moment that you say that and you see in their face that they disarmed, your joy going to start to come back. Because at that moment, you know, okay, now I'm walking and I'm holding on to this space so that I can get done what I need to get done, so that I can get the understanding that I need to get. And now my joy isn't being ciphered, because now I see that they do understand that I do have an issue trying to get them to understand. Okay, so that's just a little thing, and that's a tool that you can use. And most of the time, people are gonna say, "Well, I don't know how to help you," and you simply say, "Well, you know what? I'm gonna keep trying. I know that I probably mess up a couple more times, but I'm going to keep trying. But I just need you to be patient with me because I really am working hard on this. And that's you being 100% genuine. So joy doesn't get your joy. Your joy doesn't go away, but sometimes it just dissipates. Sometimes it get dissolved and eaten up just out of simple frustration. And you can't let everything and every situation frustrate you because you got things to do, you got places to go, and you got people that you got to help and people that you got to touch and people whose lives matter in your life. That if you don't do what you're supposed to do, they're not going to be able to do what they're supposed to do. And I'm going to tell you something else that'll steal your joy. I'm going to tell you something else that'll steal your joy. Not knowing how valuable you are in the spaces that you exist. Sharaboko Lobo Sunday. Let me tell you something right now. In the country's way that I know how to say. You not understanding how valuable you are in the spaces that you are in and in the groups that you stand in and the people that you're around. You thinking that, oh, well, it's that person, the person that's out front and the person that's doing the shine and the person that's doing the talking. Yeah, they have value, but do you not realize that you have just as much value as they do? And what'll steal your joy quicker than anything is feeling like you don't matter. Because let me tell you something. The moment that you think that you don't have value, the moment that you think that in any situation that what you got to say don't matter, the moment that you begin to say, well, you know what? They don't need me. They don't need me. They got it. Let them go ahead and do it. They got it. That's frustration. It ciphers your joy. That's slow boiling anger. It ciphers your joy. You say what you want to, tell the truth. That little low boil, y'all know how you cook food on the stove and it simmer real low? I mean, so low that you probably could walk out the door and go do a few things and you know it ain't gonna burn. That kind of anger right there, that kind of frustration right there does more damage than explosive anger and frustration, because it boils away and burns away your joy. When you look and you see somebody, they out front or they getting all the promotions, they doing all this, that type of stuff will cipher your joy. But I'm gonna tell you something that you got to understand. You got to understand that you got a seat in this ship too. If your seat in this ship was not needed any longer, you wouldn't be here. If your position on this planet, if your position and your seat on this planet, if you had fulfilled every portion and everything that you're supposed to be doing, you wouldn't be here right now. Yes, we see people get snatched up from day to day. We don't know when, why, and where. A lot of it don't make sense to us, but you can't be concerned about that, the things that you don't understand. What you need to understand is that you have value and you matter. And let me tell you something I taught my kids a long time ago. The most popular ones in school, the ones who got all the wins, the ones who got all the trophies and all that, in the end, when you get a little bit older, all that equals out. And it doesn't matter. You have to know that sometimes it might be your turn and it just ain't your time. And you can't let that snatch your joy away. You can't let it snatch your joy away, because somebody's going to turn around and ask you, what do you think? And the moment that you get an opportunity to tell them what you think, you open up your mouth and you say what you got to say. You take your stand and you do what you need to do. And I'm going to tell you something else that'll snatch your joy up. Sadness. Now, listen, we deal with sadness for a lot of different reasons in life. God knows, when it comes to loss, when it comes to just loss, period, grieving can cipher your joy. But understand this, your joy is a lot tougher than you give it credit for. Your joy is a lot stronger than you give it credit for. The joy that you have deep in you was given to you as a gift from birth. It has more power. It has more strength. It has more resilience than you've ever known in your life. You just got to learn how to tap into it. I can't teach you how to tap into it. I can tell you how I tap into my joy. Because it's sometimes I'm sitting here thinking, Lord, please don't let me go to jail. I still got some grandkids. Or sometimes I just want to throw my hands up and lay down and just be done. For real. For real. And this ain't no exaggeration of the matter. We all human and we all go through that. But then I hear a voice in me telling me this. But if you give up, what testimony will you be able to tell your grandkids? How are you going to be able to help that person that you know you're supposed to help? How are you going to be able to reach out to that person when it's their turn to go through it? Because let me tell you something, sweetheart. Let me tell you something. I got one of my customers, she hates for me to say, hun. I don't care. That's just a term of endearment. But listen, it's just like sweetheart, so don't take it personal. But let me tell you something. People talk about you. Things happen to you. You lose things. You lose relationships. You lose friendships. You lose valuable things. You go through tough times. You be in a place where you don't know how you're going to get out, and you be in a place where you don't know how you're going to make it. Number one thing that you should always remember is that everybody get a turn. You might not see when it's their turn, but everybody that's living and breathing on this rock gonna go through something very similar to what you're going through. So you can take comfort in knowing that you ain't the first and you ain't gonna be the last. And God knows on everything that I'm telling you right now, on these 52 years God has blessed me with. You can take a scan and you look high and you can look low. You can look far and you can look close. You can look side to side, up, down, and around on each and every level. Every single person that your eyes can catch a hold on gonna go through the exact same thing you went through on a different level. It might not be twins, but at the end of the day, those feelings that they deal with, everybody got to deal with those feelings. Stop thinking you solo dolo out here. Just because you haven't dealt with depression on the level that a lot of people have, and God knows if you're dealing with depression, please call the depression hotline, because that's a serious thing, and reach out to somebody that you know for help. But we all have been in that moment when we just felt like, I'm just tired. I just don't want to do this anymore. That right there is the first sentence. That's the open door to depression. Right there. When you want to give up, when you feel hopeless, that's all it is. The deeper it gets, the more intense it gets, the harder it is for people to deal with it. So we all get to that point where we knock on that door. But you got to learn how to find that one thing, that one thought that helps keep you going and saying, you know what? In spite of it all, I'm going to keep moving. Sometimes your joy going to catch up with you. Sometimes you just keep moving. Just keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up. I don't care what happens. I don't care how it works out, because the Bible says in Psalms 28, read that whole Psalms 28:7 says, for the joy of the Lord is my strength. We have used that verse so much, but I need you to understand that when David was writing these Psalms, he was going through some stuff. Sometimes you're going through things so deep and so heavy. The only way you're going to snatch your joy back is you're going to have to sing your way out. You're going to have to write your way out. You're going to have to talk your way out. You're going to have to walk your way out. You're going to have to work your way out. You're going to have to do something. You can't. And let me tell you something. The most inappropriate way to try to get your joy back, and the quickest way to lose your joy, is to try to build your joy on somebody else's sorrow. Now, yes, you're supposed to look and say, you know what? I'm not the only one. Everybody gonna go through this, and that's done. But the moment that the way that you think that you get your joy, see, now I'm gonna tell you the difference between joy and happiness. Let me go on and knock that out for you real quick. See, joy is an internal thing. Happiness is when you're feeling bad and you're feeling down and you think, well, I'm finna get well, girl, at least I ain't like her or I ain't like him. Yeah, I heard this and I heard it. See, that ain't even no joy. You ain't building no joy. That's false. You getting a little happiness because you feel like, oh, somebody else got it worse than me. That's a little happiness. But guess what? It ain't gonna last. You can't build your joy and you can't activate your joy on somebody else's pain. Shut up, Hookah Sunday. Let me tell you this. You don't activate your joy on somebody else's pain or loss. It don't work that way. So spend some time with yourself. Find you a song. Somebody asked me yesterday, what was I listening to online, because it got them really excited. Ty Tribbett and GA, it's Ty Tribbett and GA. I think it's God something. Can't remember what A stand for. But they have a lot of inspirational songs. I listen to Fred Hammond. I listen to Men of Standard. I listen to a lot of the older songs that in a space when I really had an abundance of joy, when it was just bubbling over. Those are the songs that I listen to. Every part of our life, we have an opportunity and we have some time when we have an abundance of joy, or when there's a time that we just really have like a lot of good things going on. Everybody get that opportunity. Now, if you're one of those people who every time you get, well, yeah, but it ain't this, stop minimizing. Praise God for the small victories. Praise God and celebrate yourself for the small wins.
It's not the big wins that win the war. It's the little wins that win the war. Stop beating yourself down because you don't feel like you got as much as everybody else. Because sometimes what you see that people have isn't even the greatest thing that they have. The greatest thing that you can have is a peace of mind, have some joy, and find you a song that will put you in that space really, really, really quick. Hook up and connect with some people who know how to get there really, really quick. Stand by somebody or listen to somebody. Like every morning I get on here. My whole purpose of getting on here, inspiring you and giving you joy and helping lift you up is so I can stay lifted up. Y'all don't understand, the person that yells the most, that screams the most, a lot of times is the person that's in the most, that's going through the most. Think about this. When kids, the other day kids was, they were out of school for President's Day or George Washington Day, one of those days. And I was in here working, I kept hearing screaming, ah, ah, and I was like, what in the world? I thought they was out there dying. It's been a long time since I had little kids around me because, my 8 kids running around the house. I could tune them out. I didn't even know they was in the same room. It's like they wasn't even there. My mind was somewhere else. But now that my kids are grown, I'm hypersensitive to every time I hear a child cry. And I'm thinking, and it was this one, and it was this, and you could tell that it was a fun cry, but they were screaming and hollering, screaming and hollering. But then there was a cry that I heard that didn't sound, it was something about that cry. Oh my Lord, thank you, Jesus. I was sitting here and there was a cry that I heard, and it was something about that cry that didn't sound like the rest of them. Now, technically, it sounded like the rest of them, but it was something in the pit of that cry that let me know that something wasn't quite on right. And I had to get up on that one. And I looked outside, and one of the kids had fell and hurt themselves. And that cry, listen to me. I'm getting excited. That cry was a cry of pain, was a cry of hurt, was a cry of come help me. So stop thinking that the people that you see on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis, that the people that you're looking at on a day-to-day basis, that you see on a regular basis, stop thinking that those people that are the loudest and the boldest and doing the most are the people that got it together. Because the ones that you see that you think got it together, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes are the ones that are hurting the most, going through the most, dealing with the most. And it's a cry for help. Sometimes you look in situations, and this is how you get your joy back. Let me tell you something, because guess what? One thing that I learned, that when you reach out and help somebody else, it ignites your joy. When I walk outside and I go and say, baby, come here, that cry calmed down because they seen what they was crying for was there. Sometimes you looking at people that's standing in front of you daily at your job, and they act like they got it together, and they ain't got the promotion that you know you deserve. You doing the work for them that you know they need to be doing, but because they don't know nothing, and they just got in there because their cousin, aunt, mama, sister, brother, first cousin knew somebody and gave them a job, and they walk around here with their chest stuck out. Sometimes they're afraid. They're walking in fear. Don't be afraid to step out into that place. If you hear your heart say, let them know you're doing a good job. Just stand up. Sometimes you giving somebody a little bit of encouragement will ignite your joy. Stop being so stingy. Stop being so stingy and stop being so fearful. So I just want to encourage you this morning. Run towards your joy. Do everything it is that you can do to maintain your joy. When you get off this broadcast today, share this on your page. When you get up today, and when you see this today in the replay, I want you to think about whatever it is that you think done robbed your joy. Pinpoint that thing that done robbed your joy. Some things you can control, some things you can't. But at the end of the day, the one thing you can always snatch back is your joy. You know how to get your joy back. Sometimes you got to go into the bathroom and get a praise break. Sometimes you got to go in your closet and you just got to begin to scream and yell. Sometimes you got to shabbat. Sometimes you got to take a round the block to cool down. Don't let your anger, don't let your frustration fuel you into thinking that that'll build your joy up, because that won't. That'll help, that'll ignite a little bit of happiness and a little bit of momentum, but it'll die out. Your joy is something that's unquenchable. It might diminish, but it never goes all the way out. It might not be roaring big, but it never, ever, ever goes all the way out. Always know that your joy is in there. You got to stir it up. You got to ignite it. You got to pump it up. You got to fuel it. In this life, and one thing that I'm learning, we have to stop relying on people to do the things that God gave us the power to do for ourselves. When it comes to your self-confidence, that's your confidence. It's your responsibility to build it up, not mine. When it comes to your self-esteem, that's your responsibility to build it up, not mine. When it comes to your joy, that's your responsibility to build it up, not that preacher. The preacher can't do nothing but give you some encouragement and give you some fuel to help build it up. But you have to maintain that fire. You have to nurture that fire. You got to take care of that fire. And if you don't take care of that fire, and if you don't nurture that fire, you can't be mad because nobody else is going to do it. Nobody going to clean your house up. Nobody going to wash your car unless you pay them. Make sure that you remember this. I don't know what just happened with my YouTube. Make sure that you remember this on everything that you know. I love you guys. Y'all make sure y'all go out here and get you a song. Like I said, Ty Trippett, he keeps me lit. I 100% love it. It get me excited. But remember, the joy of the Lord is absolutely your strength. The joy of the Lord is your strength. And when that, and let me help you a little bit with that. When it tells you that the joy of your Lord, when the Bible tells you that the joy of the Lord is your strength, what it's actually telling you is this. Stop trusting on worldly and natural things to give you the opportunities and the elevation and the things that you need. Look in your spirit, because we are actually spirit beings existing in the body. Every war and every battle that you fight has to be won on the spiritual. It has to be won on the spiritual level. This ain't that. You can go out here and cuss people out all you want to. You can go out here and march and do everything you want to, tear down these walls, stand in your groups. I'm in a lot of groups. I stand for a lot of things. But one thing I'm very clear about is I don't exhaust my thing with earthly methods on winning my battles. I don't exhaust my efforts and my soul and my spirit on earthly ways to try to win. Because just because you might see me win a fight, I could have lost that fight in the spirit. You better learn that your weapons of your warfare are not carnal, but they are spiritual, pulling down strongholds. Some of the strongholds that you got that are messing with your joy is things that happened to you when you was a kid, things that happened to you in the last relationship, things that happened to you on the last job, things that happened to you long time ago. You better, let me tell you something. I don't care how much money you pay to lay and roll around that couch. You better learn how to take hold of those things and wrestle with those things in a spiritual realm, pull them down in the name of Jesus, and keep it moving. Because the longer that you try to hold on to them, the longer you try to use earthly ways to intelligize those things and to understand those things and to put them in words and in dissertations that make sense to everybody that's standing around you, you're still going to be in a struggle. My people, we got to get it together. We got to war spiritually. I'm not saying that we don't battle down here. That's not what I'm telling you, because you do need to take a stand. But you better go somewhere where you can really do some real work and where you can maintain your joy. Because when you out here fighting this stuff in the world, it will snatch your joy up so quick with the disappointments that you won't even know what happened to you. But I refuse to lose twice. I might lose here on earth, but I will not lose in the spiritual realm. And when you don't lose on the spiritual realm, trust and believe it will bring itself to pass on this side, on this side, on this side. Stop losing twice. Begin to pray, begin to meditate, begin to use your time, and stop letting people. And let me tell you something, you ain't gonna never be perfect. You're not gonna never slip up and sin. You're not gonna never get there. I'm not saying it's not possible. And that's what we strive for. But on a regular basis, and then 9 times out of 10, we all are human and we still have that error. So stop beating yourself up because you can't get it 100. Honey, if you get 51%, honey, you win. And I keep telling y'all that. You 50% of every situation that you're in. The only thing that you need is not 60, you don't need, but 51% to get it. My name is Misha Lee. Honey, snatch that joy back today. Put your song on, do your shouting, call somebody, get a prayer group, get whoever you got, get it together. Y'all go war and do what you got to do, but snatch your joy back because it's your joy and nobody have a right to take it. My name is Misha Lee. If you're interested in being a feature here on the Morning Mojo Show, go to themishalee.com, type in your name, and type in your comment and let me know. I'm going to get an email and then I'm going to reach out to you and I'm going to contact you and bring you on here because you might have a story and you might have something that you can share that can help somebody that's watching this show. And if you're in the beauty profession, it don't matter if you're a makeup artist, hairstylist, barber, whatever you do in the beauty industry and you need a mentor or someone to help you make those decisions and help you understand which way to go. Let me tell you something. Y'all see that video I put there? They were wrapped around the wall. I'm still taking one-on-ones. I still got people signing up even to this day. Don't miss your opportunity to get what it is that God has blessed you to have and put in front of you to have. Go to themishalee.com. Send me a message again through my email, or you can go to bit.ly, Sweet Salon Power 2021. Sweet Salon Power 2021. I'm going to put that link in this bio. Go ahead and get signed up. We start class on Monday night at 8:30. I got people signing up left, right. I'm excited about bringing each and every one of them on because guess what? It's time. It's time. 2020 is here. Today is a special day because today is February the 2nd, February the 20th of 2020 is 02202020. I seen that yesterday. I said, okay. I said, what's going on? Hopefully y'all pray that it don't snow here in North Carolina because we don't need no snow. We get, it said 1 to 3 inches. And let me tell you something. In North Carolina, if we get 1 inch where I'm from, everything shut down. They already start letting schools out and snow ain't got here. So I love you guys. Y'all have a wonderful day and I'll talk to you soon.